As Mr. Swalwell from California.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll start with Sheriff Lamb. Thank you, sir, for your service in a very hard and challenging part of the country. And I've got two brothers who are deputy sheriffs. My dad was deputy sheriff. I know it's a thankless job. And I guess I just want to ask, if you had 20,000 more Border Patrol agents surged across the southern border, would that make it easier or harder for you to do your job?
Thank you, Mr. Swalwell, for the kind words as well, and for your family's service. Absolutely, 20,000 more Border Patrol agents would make a world of difference. I would love more deputies too, so yes, staffing does matter.
And if you were able to have more technologies, whether it's drone technologies, sensor technologies, to work with CBP to monitor and track the border, would that also help?
Yes, sir. We spent a lot of money on helicopter fuel. We spent a lot of resources there. Where I'm at, if I have a regular drone, I have to be with line of sight. Honestly, in my area, I need a drone that's a military-style drone that I can fly for 50 miles. So would love to have a drone.
And do you agree that we need to crack down on any employer who hires an undocumented individual, because by hiring somebody who's undocumented, it incentivizes migration?
I've heard a lot of talk about a lot of things, but I think we're underestimating the amount of lost tax revenue that goes on every year from all the people in the country illegally. We are all paying taxes, and we're footing the bill for a lot of things. There's a lot of lost tax revenue. I do agree that on some levels there should be some crackdowns, but we also need to balance that out with the amount of employment that is needed in this country. This is your job. This is what you guys are good at. And, and respectfully, I would say the last 2 years, one party had command of Congress, Senate, and the presidency and could have passed an immigration bill and didn't do so. And now here we are again now back where both parties are split. So I think there's a lot of help we could get.
And you're right. In 4 years before that, another party had exactly what you described. And I don't want to disvalue the benefit of an immigrant workforce, because my next point is that wouldn't you agree that having a legal immigration system where people who go through the legal process go to the front of the line would be a preferred way to adjudicate those who want to come to the United States, follow the rules, work, pay those taxes?
100% agree. I've lived in the Philippines. I've lived in Panama. I lived in Argentina. I agree that you have to create a common sense path to fill jobs, to give these people an opportunity. Me, along with every other law enforcement and all these people set up here, we want people to come here and make a better life. We just want them to follow the process.
That's right. And what I just described to you was essentially the 2014 President Obama Republican deal in the Senate, where 68 Republicans and Democrats agreed on the framework that I just laid out. And it's my hope that we can get back to that, because I agree with you. I think most Americans, they want to have a border that is safe and secure. They want to have immigrants come to this country and work the jobs that have a necessity to be filled. They want to make sure that there's a background check and that the legal process are the ones that go to the front of the line. And it seems to be that the politics of this overtakes the solutions. On the point of fentanyl, Ms. Keeson, I too want to share my sympathy for you and your family. It's someone who knows people who have also died. But I believe that the biggest culprit here, and I think the Republican colleagues of mine agree, is really going after China. I think China has blood on its hands. I don't think President Biden has blood on his hands. I think China has blood on its hands for the fentanyl crisis, because as a number of people have said, overwhelmingly these fentanyl is coming through points of entry, and overwhelmingly it's U.S. citizens. And the fentanyl, we know, is coming from over in China. And I think internationally we should all work to apply more pressure on China to account for what it's doing. And finally, I think Ms. Green is just divorced from reality when she wants to use the fentanyl seizures as a way to beat up on the president. Because Sheriff Lamb, you said earlier today that you are literally saving the country with the number of people that you have saved with those seizures. And where I come from, and where my brothers make a big seizure that get guns and drugs off the streets, we don't use that to make a political point. We use that to give an attaboy, to the police officers for what they did. And so I'm going to give y'all an attaboy for what you've done, and thank you, because you've taken a lot of fentanyl off the streets, and you've made us a lot safer because you've done it. Yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Swalwell.